Hello dear all. In this presentation we discuss Sora or deficiency, a chapter from Robert's philosophy. So first, before going into the discussion, let's see what is the understanding of chronic diseases by Dr. Hahnemann. So they are having gradual onset, slow progress, vital force is dynamically deranged. Equilibrium is lost between the functioning of various organs and harmony is disturbed between body, mind and soul. So the cause of the chronic diseases is fundamental cause called as miasms. So, Dr. Robert discusses further that miasms the primary cause of chronic diseases. According to Dr. Robert, miasms are polluting exhalations or malarial poison. Miasms are of three types: Sora, psychosis and syphilis. So Sora, the primary important symptom representing soric miasm is itch. Psychosis, the primary symptom representing psychotic miasm is condylomata, that is wart. And syphilis, the primary symptom is chancre. Sora has functional disturbances and psychosis has overgrowth or assimilation, and in syphilis we find destruction of tissues. After 12 years of hard work, Dr. Hahnemann arrived to the theory of chronic diseases mentioned in the 4th edition of Organon of Medicine. There was a huge criticism to this theory. It is not strange that in the light of modern knowledge, new arguments have arisen to assail this theory. Let's examine it in the light of present day knowledge. So, we try to understand that the theory of chronic disease, that is, the miasms as the cause of chronic disease, has raged for a century. It means that there was a great criticism and so many physicians opposed the miasmatic theory. So let's examine it in the light of present day knowledge. Sora is the mother of all the miasms. Miasms remain in the latent phase, and when they get triggered in the form of dynamic influences, that is causes. So miasms are in the latent phase, in the hidden phase, and they become active due to the dynamic causes. All miasms show the manifestations in the form of symptoms. Under the adverse circumstances, these are called into play. So miasms are in the latent stage, but the adverse circumstances, adverse stimuli are arising the miasms. They are manifested as symptoms. According to general symptomatology, forming soric group, we have Dr. Bonninghausen's list of anti-soric remedies. So, Dr. Roberts discusses further his theory of Sora as deficiency. So, let's see how we go further. We have 50 remedies which are published at the time of Dr. Hahnemann. So, Dr. Bonninghausen's list of anti-soric remedies. Okay, so these were published at the time of Dr. Hahnemann. Out of that remedies, 16 remedies are from vegetable group, 1 remedy from animal group, and 33 remedies are the chemical elements or inorganic substances or combined from these elements or substances. So the 50 anti-soric remedies are divided as 16 from vegetable group, 1 from animal group, and 33 the chemical elements or inorganic substances, or they are present in the combined form. We find only 3 that appear in the range of chemical elements higher by atomic weight than those essential to the construction of the human body. So which are these 3? They are baryta, platinum and aurum. These elements have a very high atomic weight. So this atomic weight is so high than the elements which are essential to the construction of human body. So baryta, platinum, aurum is not found in the construction of the human body. But the 30 elements more or less have been ascertained by different investigators as appearing in human body and are very much essential to the physical construction of the cells, tissues, organs. So these elements are hydrogen, lithium, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, potassium, calcium, titanium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc, germanium, arsenic, bromine, tin and iodine. It is seen that no inert element like argon occurs in the body, that radioactive elements and those that are undergoing decomposition are lacking. Heavy elements such as lead and the noble metals are not found in the construction of human body. So the first point, the distribution of the elements in the human organism is an historical matter, representing the period in evolution when only those elements that are lighter weight than iodine were evolved. This is probable. Second point, the lighter kinds occurring in the living things because these elements were relegated to the surface of the earth and were readily available for the use of organism as it has undergone evolution. But according to geologists, heavier elements lie towards the center of earth. So this is given in the chapter. What it means, the essential elements which are required for the construction of the human body are present on the surface of the earth, and those elements which are heavier are present more towards the center of the earth. The radioactive elements, we can see definitely why they were not included in construction, for they are essentially destructive. So they are not present in the body. These correspond to the action of the syphilitic taint and should be classed as anti-syphilitic in action. So remember, the radioactive elements are not present in the construction of the human body, and as they are destructive, they are corresponding to the action of syphilitic taint and are anti-syphilitic in action. Sora and deficiency in properly balanced essentials are one and the same, or if they are not identical problems, we must admit that here lies a significant key to the problem of Sora and one worthy of deeper study. Now actually from this point onwards, we try to do the explanation of what Dr. Roberts says as Sora or deficiency. So let's see what is the discussion done in the chapter. So here he puts the hypothesis that Sora and deficiency are one and the same. And what explanation Dr. Robert gives for this? Let's see further. So Sora or deficiency, Sora and deficiency are one and the same. Symptoms are developed due to deficiency of these elements are nothing but Sora. So important is that the absorption of these elements from diet. So he focuses this point that due to the deficiency of these essential elements, certain symptoms are developing, and this is nothing but the expression of Sora. Here, the important aspect is the absorption or assimilation of these elements from diet. There is absolute deficiency of nutrients which causes physical or mental symptoms. There is imbalance of homeostasis. So, the deficiency of the nutrients causes physical or mental symptoms. There is imbalance of homeostasis. Functioning of organs is disturbed. It manifests as symptoms. If the necessary nutrients are provided, then also symptoms are manifested. So, in spite of the nutrients supplied, the symptoms are still manifested. It means deficiency is due to the failure of assimilation. So, again we repeat that due to the deficiency of nutrients, there are certain symptoms. This indicates there is imbalance of homeostasis, harmony is disturbed, and the equilibrium between the functioning of various organs is lost. If the necessary nutrients are provided, then also the symptoms are still manifested. It means that apart from the supplement of the nutrients, the important aspect is the assimilation, and deficiency is due to the failure of assimilation. We find that emotional or other stress develops the soric symptomatology even in constitutions that have been sound and healthy. So, the important aspect here is that the stress factors are having the effect and they form the symptomatology, and in the constitutions that have been sound and healthy. So thus the emotional stress is causing lot of burden on the state of health. The greatest asset of the body is that of adaptability. So the body, that means the person tries to adapt to all the stresses in the life, but thus in itself under unnatural or forced conditions, means various causes, while permitting life to continue under emergent or hampered conditions, that disease takes place in the form of train of symptoms, and that Hahnemann described as soric state. So, the adaptation means what? The individual continuously adapts to the adverse stimuli so that he continues to keep himself under the state of health. But at certain time, this adaptation fails and there are the train of symptoms, and that Hahnemann describes as soric state. Body elements best known to biochemistry students are such as hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, fluorine, sodium, magnesium, silicon, phosphorus, iodine, sulfur, chlorine, potassium, calcium, manganese, iron, copper, zinc, arsenic. So these are the essential elements which are present in the human body. The chemists have estimated the elements. Chemists have been able to estimate the percentage of these elements present in the organism. And how much it is? It is in traces, very small quantity. Yet its deficiency or its absence causes the various train of symptoms and this manifests as disease. For example, arsenic is present in thyroid and brain. Magnesium throughout the body in lungs, glands, brain, muscles and muscular organs such as heart. Its deficiency causes convergence. All of us know that tin is present in tongue and brain and its deficiency causes change of taste. Cobalt and nickel is present in pancreas and its deficiency causes diabetes. Manganese, it is blended with iron in human tissues. Scientists discovered that manganese starvation in animals will produce sterility in males and loss of mother love in females. When carefully prepared manganese diet is added, all the abnormalities are corrected. Supplement corrects the deficiency, no doubt. Diseases are lessened or diseases are cured. But it is observed that many times, in spite of giving the supplements, the symptoms still persist of deficiency. And here we can conclude that it is because of faulty assimilation. Sora, we always find it's a functional disturbance. It is not the overfeeding or gross starvation of any element that provides us with the so-called soric problem, but the subtle functional disturbances with many sensations. So Sora is functional disturbance and there is a lot of sensations patient experiences in the form of symptoms. We find connection between the constructive essential elements and the so-called anti-soric remedies. Soric conditions we may regard as lack of balance, inability to assimilate, as well as possible starvation of essentials. So Dr. Robert is very clear in explaining that soric condition, what we regard is a lack of balance in ability to assimilate, that is lack of absorption, and as well as it may be possible starvation of essential elements. It is seen that the deficiency of manganese is present in all tissues. Then what happens? The biological chemistry and see the correlation with materia medica. Manganese is present in liver and in the materia medica we find a symptom which is written under manganese is inflammation and fatty degeneration of liver. Thus we connect the deficiency of manganese with the materia medica of manganese. Manganese is present in blood and in materia medica it is listed as anemia due to destruction of RBCs. Loss of maternal instinct and infertility is listed in the biological chemistry due to the deficiency of manganese. So here in materia medica we find sensation of weakness in genitals in males, and in females there is peevishness and taciturnity, concentration in self is there and no desire for child. So loss of love for child. So thus we can correlate the deficiency of manganese and the its materia medica, that is the symptoms listed under manganese during proving. So there is a high correlation that the deficiency of these elements produces same symptoms as studied by today's knowledge of biochemistry, and as we have listed the provings done by Dr. Hahnemann in Materia Medica. Further example of carbons, that during digestion and assimilation, carbohydrates are converted in glucose. Glucose always occurs in blood. This sugar is principal fuel which is burned by muscles for providing energy, for keeping the body warm and for muscular work. This is physiology. Role of carbon in anti-soric remedies. We find remedies such as ammon carb, barata carb, calcarea carb, carboanimalis, carbovage, graphites, kali carb, mac carb, natrum carb, and sepia as animal carbon. All these have carbon influences even though associated with other elements. So burnt out feeling is a red thread symptom of carbon combinations. Thus, the weakness as a hallmark feature of Kalika, it is connected with the deficiency of carbon. Calcium is an essential bony structure. It is necessary for the building of the bones, but required in small quantity constantly, and also it is essential for blood. Calcarea group in scrofulous constitution, rickety children who are having large head with open fontanelles is a soric condition. McCollum has studied that human infants often develop rickets when receiving sufficient calcium and phosphorus, provided they are deprived of sunlight and vitamin D. So, children who are deprived of sunlight and vitamin D often develop rickets even when receiving the supplement of calcium and phosphorus. Thus, it indicates that even if you supply these elements, the deficiency may persist. According to Dr. Hahnemann, in relation to Sora, to the effect that unnatural or unhappy lack of sunlight to give vitamin D, the surroundings are extremely dangerous to vital energy. There may be physical exertion beyond capacity or mental exertion, lack of nutrition, busy lifestyle, that is disturbance in the function results, the hurried lifestyle, anxiety, fear, worried state, no time to rest, breathe and relax. Such a lifestyle is very dangerous to the vital energy. This results in the state of disease, and this can be correlated with the Sora. Emotional strain, an important factor in developing soric conditions. Inability to relax for the natural and important functions demanded by nature, it causes physical disturbance. All these circumstances pressing upon a delicate adjustment between spirit, mind and body, that is trinity of life. Whether this tendency to the soric manifestations develops because of inability to assimilate or inability to relax to the point of assimilation, the end results are same and will continue to be until corrected through more healthy and natural ways of living. plus the power of the potentized remedy to release suppressions and tune the maladjustments to the order. It means that the soric manifestations, that is the various symptoms, are present as a phenomena of disease. It is because of inability to assimilate, that is inability to absorb the various elements, and it may continue even if the living is improved, or the suppressions will be relieved by the administration of the potentized remedy, and then the maladjustments can be tuned. So let's conclude by understanding the role of homeopathy in the deficiency of elements. So deficiency of elements is manifested as the few symptoms. We call it as disease phenomena. There is imbalance between nutritional requirement and supply, which can be corrected by supply from food, or we supply artificially, that is by giving the tablets. Deficiency, if not due to lack of nutrition, then it is due to failure of absorption due to underlying miasm Sora. It facilitates the absorption of necessary elements from diet. So to conclude, the deficiency of elements is seen and it results into manifestation of symptoms. They can be correlated as soric states. So the deficiency results due to the underlying miasm, and it is because of the failure of absorption, and this can be corrected by the homeopathic simillimum. So homeopathy does not replace the elements. We are not having any homeopathic simillimum as a replacement of these elements. The role of homeopathy is that it fulfills the deficiency disorders, enhances the assimilation under healthy mode of living, nutritious food, and patient should stay away from these stress factors which we discussed earlier, and the administration of the simillimum will enhance the assimilation to correct the deficiencies. So that was all the discussion on Sora as deficiency. Thank you.